under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Pamela.
Here.
Mrs. Stafford. Here. Dan Dalton. Ann Fuller. Here. Steve Dalton.
Here.
Ann Johnson. Here.
Council, before we get started, did call me and said he would not be here due to his anniversary day.
I make a motion we accept the absence of Councilman Dalton, Dan Dalton.
I'll second. Motion by Dan Fuller, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Fuller.
Yay.
Lisa Stafford. Yay. Ann Fuller.
Yay.
Steve Dalton.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay. And Audrey was not at the last council meeting. Council, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to excuse the absence.
A second.
Motion by Steve, second by Dan Pillow. Any discussion?
The reason I hesitated, I thought we did it already. I thought we did it.
Yeah, it got tabled.
Okay.
We actually tabled it.
Huh?
We actually tabled it.
Tabled it? Okay, thanks.
You tabled me being absent?
Do what now?
You tabled me being absent?
Yeah, because we didn't know why you were absent. You didn't report to the mayor.
Well, the main reason was I looked over to call for your report and I didn't know that you were absent. You didn't tell me.
Oh, I thought that I did. I texted you.
The one you did, the one previous you did.
Oh.
That's the one we're talking about.
Special counsel's out.
The special counsel, she doesn't really.
Right, no, not, it was the last regular council.
It was a regular
That's
council.
what I thought.
Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Fuller.
Yay.
Lisa Stafford.
Yay.
Ann Fuller.
Yay.
Steve Dalton.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
You received the minutes of October the 19th, 2020.
I make a motion we accept the minutes from October 19, 2020.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lisa, second by Pam. Any discussions? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Lisa Stafford.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Steve Dalton.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
You received pay ordinance 2020-11A. This was for biweekly payroll that was paid on October the 23rd. Total amount dispersed from the general fund was $10,931.79. The water fund, $6,772.19 for a combined total of $11,603.98.
I'll make a motion to accept 11A 2020.
I'll second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Lisa Stafford. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Lisa Stafford.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Steve Dalton.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Next, you have 11B. This is for accounts payable. Total dispersed from the general fund was $2,882.16. From the street construction maintenance and repair fund, $50 from the fire/EMS fund, $15,208.61 from the water fund, $232.33 for a combined total of $18,319.10.
What's the Marilee's, looks like just Marilee's miscellaneous?
It's whenever the guys go to Marilee's, they get an invoice for whatever it is that they pick up. It's different things for blue masking tape, I assume maybe the Hunt House, gap filler, sealant, portrait net, Bach poly film. These are all different things. I don't know, you know, I'm a woman, I don't know all this stuff. I can pass it down if you want to see on there.
No, I'm just, like, for example, like Village for the Haunted House, that would come out of a different line item.
Come out of general fund.
It still comes out of general fund, but the money was allocated.
Yeah, it'll be broken down when I make the payment.
Okay,
It's a whole different sheet.
okay.
It's printed right out of the UAN, and I make the payment and it reflects it on the check where it comes out of.
Yeah.
So
Like
what
the
would,
invoices will tell you what was bought, and that's how it's separated.
so what was the
Because they
total?
didn't spend that much money at the haunted house.
No, I was just curious because it was just kind of like, and stuff.
Well, it's always like that unless you know, if you want copies of all the bills, I can copy them and shoot them off to you in an email.
No, I was just curious.
It's not a bad idea.
And you had a question
So
on
what was the combined total funds? Evidently, I'm not following this real well.
for the pay ordinance altogether?
Mhm.
It should have been $18,319.10.
So what I printed out is 20,
$20,000.
$20,119.10.
What's the last one you have on yours? I'm sorry. I might have copied the wrong
the
one.
combined total funds is $20,119.10.
Can I see your sheet?
Sure.
Oh, I know what it is. I added Matthew Pritchard on there. So it did change it, okay? So Ann you all have the corrected sheet. Because after I did this one, I got Matthew's bill or his invoice for the web page. So the total amount, the general fund would be $4,628.16. Street construction maintenance repair is $50. The fire EMS is $15,208.61. Water is $232.33 for a combined total of $20,119.10. Sorry about that. I did add Matthew on there because he emailed me the bill, his invoice later. And I will go back and add it, but you do have the right sheet.
And I'll make a motion to accept 11B 2020.
Second.
Motion by Pam, second by Steve. Is there any discussions?
Oh,
Probably not now.
I'm sorry.
All right, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
I'm not done.
I'll wait for you to tell me.
You received, when you come in this evening, you received a copy of the mayor's monthly financial statement as of today's date, November the 2nd.
I make a motion to receive the mayor's monthly report.
She was gonna read off the.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I was gonna read
There's a little
it.
I know,
hesitation. I thought-
that's fine.
Okay, total amount to the city was $4,946. Amount sent into the state revenue fund was $1,142. Sent in for the indigent driver alcohol treatment fund, $74. So the total revenue collected is $6,162. And that included receipts from the credit card. And the total amount to the village again was $4,946.
I make a motion to receive the mayor's monthly report.
I'll second.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
And Mayor, I have been working on the wrap up of the festival monies, and I would need to go back through it now that we have, I believe, all the receipts. What was holding me up was I was waiting on Jeff Reed, and I found out last Thursday night after that meeting that he has chose to donate the soft drinks and the pop and the ice that we used for the festival. So I need to go back in and finish that up. And I do have 2 receipts to give to Mrs. Pillow for the money from the donation of the 226, 227, and what the booth made, the cotton candy booth.
Now, I've looked at these, and we actually made $424. At least that's how much cotton candy and popcorn we sold. There was a donation of $226, but my receipts are for $277.80 and $226. So there's a discrepancy in the proceeds from the cotton candy and popcorn unless something changed other than the fact that the organization would get what we made at that booth.
I'll go back and look at it again.
You have to go back and look
You
at
said,
this.
you sat there and you counted it with me.
Well, we did. The one was 200, that was a donation box, but the booth itself should have been, I could be wrong, 700.
The total for the 2 was $651. And we had a separate package which returned the funds that were there for the little zip thing for the money that was there to start the booth with. We put that in the package, and then what was left was $651. That's, like I say, the donation was $226.
I remember spending $651 on it, but I've got all those envelopes still upstairs.
Yeah, that's all I was seeing, because I thought it was.
We'll go back to it.
different than that.
Okay.
That's all I have there.
All right, we'll move to the treasurer's report.
Everybody should have a copy of the August report in front of them, along with the 3 pages from Municipal Bank. Showing the balances for the month of August. The beginning balance for total council controlled funds, $201,053.76. With receipts and expenditures, the end of the month balance was $197,059.77. Again, those are total council controlled funds. Total water board funds, beginning balance $90,915.63. With receipts and expenditures, ending balance is $99,420.61. Beginning balance for both total council controlled funds and total water board controlled funds. Beginning balance $291,969.39. Receipts and expenditures, ending balance $296,480.38.
Is the sweep account listed on here? Do we have a bank receipt for the sweep account?
It is attached.
The sweep account is considered part of the general fund.
No, I know, I was looking at the bank statements. I didn't see the bank statement for the sweep.
Oh, I apologize, it's not attached. I ran them off. I will get it to you. Yeah, I apologize. The money market and the general account is there. It's missing the sweep. I'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Did you want to table that until she gets a full report, or did you want to accept the treasurer's report and then she'll put the?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, it'd
Okay.
just be nice to see where we're at.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report for August.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Steve Dalton. Any discussion?
No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yes.
Steve Dalton,
Yeah.
Pam Jackson.
Yes.
I can't tell you that there weren't any changes during the month of August, but during the month of September, next month's report is gonna be very different. There were a lot of changes.
Are we normally this far behind? So like we're in November and we're just not seeing August?
Well, because of the audits, everything is running a little bit behind.
Is there a way we could get a little bit more caught up? Because it's hard for us, like, just as council, for us to make decisions. We're seeing a report from August and really we're in November now.
That's understandable. I will get with Margret and see if we can get things put together.
Thank you, I really appreciate that.
So again,
That's all I have.
so yeah, all right. All right, council, I have someone in the audience tonight. His name is
Did we
Ron
vote?
Schneider.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he
We
voted
did.
on it.
Yes.
It's been voted on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't
No, you're
remember
fine.
saying yay or anything.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time I've passed that. So, that's fine. All right.
Sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
No, you're fine. So, in the audience tonight, I have Ron Schneider. Ron, do you want to wave everybody? He would like to be appointed to the planning commission.
Oh, very good.
So with council's decision, if you'd like to allow him to join the planning commission.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ron to the planning commission.
I second.
All right. Motion by Steve, second by Dan Pillow. Any discussion?
Thank you for being willing to help.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was going to say, having known Ron and seen what he has done at his own house over the years, he's going to be a great addition to us. Really appreciate it.
I think so.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is he going on the planning commission or the planning committee that is
Commission.
the commission?
The commission.
Okay.
Did we vote?
No.
Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Congratulations, welcome
Welcome.
aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to stick around for the whole meeting, or you can leave if you want to.
Okay, I'll listen for a while, yeah.
Let's see.
Long drive still, or you at home?
I'm home still.
Ah, very good.
They extended it, it was supposed to go back today, but they left a little while longer.
Ah.
The only other thing I wanted to bring up to council was Wayne Billfield approached me Friday, and he's been in council before. He wants to buy a couple of the vacant properties we have, which I made copies of it. You'll have it at your seat. There's 2 of them. And I told him I'd bring it up to you guys if you want. I don't know why we want to keep hanging on to them, but if you want, willing to put them out for bid or up for auction.
312 Second Hand, does it still have a house on it? Or is that got?
No, that's, we tore that down.
Okay.
So it's vacant property.
I was just double checking, because I drove up there one day thinking there was like a house there, because there's one on the picture.
I don't know why they haven't changed that picture yet, but
We said last time this had come up, it was referred to the citizens. He said we have to advertise all of them. We have to advertise for bid that was selling.
well, yeah, that was brought up, sure, but nobody actually came with a list of the properties they wanted to put up. I'm only giving you the 2 he's interested in because that's the ones I know. Now, if you want to do more than that, I don't care.
And we can list them on Facebook, correct, Bob? Like if we list them on our social media, we don't have to pay the inquiry to sell.
Correct.
Do we have an idea of what we would want to sell the properties for? Don't we have to put in a minimum bid if we advertise it?
Yeah, they should be appraised, or somebody should have an idea of what they're worth.
And
You
Pam-
do- you
Pam
do.
was gonna give him the list.
What you want to do is you want to put it on there with a reservation of rights, so that if it doesn't meet a certain level, that it'll be advertised again, or listed for sale again.
And on these two properties, they were what we had grants, right, to have tore down. The village didn't have any money out on these expenditures against these properties that I can't remember.
Well, I mean, we did, well, I don't know, we paid for the blue one to come
Did we?
down.
That's why I can't remember.
That wasn't on the list of the donation, or not the donation, but the
That was
donation.
Mr. Johnson. That's the lady who ended up dying later.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we probably, if we can get what we actually spent on that, just what that cost us.
You mean the demolition for a vacant lot? That's not gonna happen, but you can try it.
No, I meant for what we expended.
This house isn't really there, is it?
No, it's not
That's
there.
confusing, yeah.
We paid to
Yeah,
tear
Ella
that down.
Johnson is the one that owned it, and I think she passed away not long after we got the property.
240 by 100 lots.
That's basic size. Really.
I mean, it does have a listed market land value.
Yeah.
You don't have to put the bid price, you can just say, you have to put a price on it.
You don't have to put a top price, but you need to put a reservation of rights that you reserve the right to reject any and all bids. So if somebody comes in with $1, they don't come in and say, well, we bid the highest, we're entitled to the property. No, we put right at the bottom of the form, council reserves the right to reject any and all bids.
Well, what I'm saying is like when it's advertised, like when, say, she puts it on Facebook, does she have to put a dollar amount?
No.
So we could
That's
just
what
say
I-
we're gonna put them up and see what comes back.
And he, with that clause he was just talking about. Same.
Right,
We
with
reserve
the
the right
reservation of rights.
Mhm.
Right.
to, what was the wording exactly again, Bob? We reserve the right to what?
Reject any and all bids.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we put the properties up for bid with the clause that Bob reviews the final language before we post it for the
Second.
2 lots.
I'll second it.
And it has to be up for how many weeks? Does it have to be up for a certain amount of weeks?
It should be up for a minimum of 2 weeks.
2 weeks? So make the deadline date 2 weeks from the time of posting.
Okay.
And Lisa, if you'll work with me, I'll tell you some of the language, because the bid should be sealed and brought here, right,
Yeah,
Bob?
make sure language
Yes.
comes out
Okay.
correctly.
Okay.
That's why I put the,
Yeah.
Bob approves the final language, make sure
Yeah.
we're good.
Before it's even posted on Facebook, make sure Bob reads it.
I can come up, we can work out a time one day this week, Margaret, and I'll come up with you.
You made them.
I didn't make a
He
motion.
motioned, I second.
All right. We'll go ahead and, any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Angela,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Angelo,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Does 306 belong to us?
Yes.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, I just thought it
Was
belonged to us.
Duncan's property at one time.
That's one that we had a little discussion, but we figured out it belonged to us. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, both of them are probably.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Somebody else owns something in between them,
That's right.
but, yeah, those two are ours.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move to the solicitor. Bob?
Okay? I've sent over an ordinance to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or Local Transportation Improvement Programs and to execute contracts as required and to declare an emergency. This is for the Main Street project that the mayor brought up at the last meeting.
I'd like to make a motion that we declare an emergency, suspend the rules, and read the ordinance by title only 3 times.
I'll second.
Motion by Steve, second by Pam. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton. I'm sorry, boy, my mind. Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading an ordinance to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs, and to execute contracts as required and to declare an emergency. Second reading an ordinance to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs, and to execute contracts as required and to declare an emergency. Third reading an ordinance to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs, and to execute contracts as required and to declare an emergency.
I move we adopt the ordinance as read.
Second.
Motion by Lisa Stafford, second by Steve Dalton. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
And just so you know, this one is going to be 13.
That's the only ordinance.
You want to do the other one, the events?
Oh.
Because we couldn't do it at the special meeting, so we had to do it for regular meeting.
Then I have an ordinance establishing minimum requirements for events, activities, social events on behalf of the Village of Addyston, Ohio. This one was provided to you last week.
And I have copies if anybody needs copies.
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules, read the title 3 times by title only, declare an emergency.
I'll second.
Motion by Steve, second by Pam. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading, an ordinance establishing minimum requirements for events, activities, social events on behalf of the Village of Addyston, Ohio. Second reading, an ordinance establishing minimum requirements for events, activities, social events on behalf of the Village of Addyston, Ohio. Third reading, an ordinance establishing minimum requirements for events, activities, social events on behalf of the Village of Addyston, Ohio.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
Second.
Motion by Pam, second by Steve. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
And this one will be number 14.
That's all that I have.
All right, thank you all. We'll go to committees. Dan?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. The Hamilton County did Community Development Block Grant CV. Little direction, Bob, do we need to rebid that, just like we did from the beginning, preparing the packets and all?
You're modifying it to reduce it or change the price?
Yes. Yes, okay. And I wanted to make sure that this was exactly what council wanted to do. We had talked about it in the last, changing the scope of the project would be to eliminate the east parking lot. I think that should get us where we need to be. I think that's what we had talked about.
Do we have to redo those whole booklets again and all that stuff?
No, it'll just be making some modifications to them. Yeah, I'll have to reprint them and that. I guess if we have to yeah.
So that's redoing the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, all the information's there, which was the hard part. It's just, we just had to have them reprinted.
Because weren't those like $1,000 to print last time?
I have no idea.
No.
Or was
I
that?
don't think it was like 1,100 advertised, but I don't know what the printing was, because I don't remember.
The printing was
Yeah.
probably less than $200 for it.
Okay, so now we have to re-advertise again too with the 11,000 advertisement? We can't just go back to the people that bid?
That's what I was asking Bob.
Bob just told you.
No, it's not 11,000.
For, when we advertised it,
It's 1,100.
or 1,100, either way, it's.
But even from that, we'll be able to reduce the wording in that advertising, I think, this time. That'll bring that down, I'm sure. You know, first time out, trying to figure out, make sure they got all the information. I think we can reduce the amount of words that we use to make that cheaper.
So Dan, are we gonna look at, if I get it to them this week, they can get it in like maybe the 8th? And do you wanna do it like Sundays and Wednesday, or just strictly Sunday, or?
It doesn't, I'm for the less amount of legal advertising that we have to do. I don't know what is required. Bob, do you have any idea how many times it has to be advertised?
Just 2 weeks.
I have to look at it.
Okay.
It should be in Title 735, and I'll look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you an email tonight.
Will you copy me on the email?
Yes. I'll copy all of the council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, but we'll go for whatever the minimum is, and we'll take the wording down as much as we can.
Make a motion for Mr. Pillow to, and however, whoever, to be able to rebid the project with the reduction of the east parking lot.
Yes.
Said east parking lot.
Yes.
And this time probably charge for those packets,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
because, yeah.
I'll second it.
Motion by Steve, second by Pam. Any discussion?
How much are we gonna charge for those packets?
That's a good question.
Well,
I mean, it depends on what you put in, I guess, isn't it?
checking with Sean Riggs after the fact, he said that they should go anywhere from $50 to $60. I would say that whatever it cost us to make, you know, plus the time, I mean, it used to be $50 to $60 when the engineer did them and brought them out here and dropped them off for us.
Whatever council wants to do on that, there was a considerable amount of, you know, it wasn't just like it appeared. It was a considerable amount of work that went into it. So, I mean, it's up to council what you want to charge for.
Basing off of what he's gonna spend on printing, I think, too, and a little bit of time, add some labor costs. That's what I would personally do, that's up to you guys.
How many people took them last time?
I think we sent out 10.
There were 14 copied.
Yeah.
We had 14 copied. I had a copy, you had a copy, and the other ones were there.
Yeah.
I think 10 were picked up.
Yes.
Is this gonna be part of the motion that you made, or do we make a different motion for the cost, or did you add that?
I'll amend mine to include the cost, that way it's one motion if that works. I don't mind amending it.
Does that work?
Could you please repeat that one more time?
Amending my motion to include the cost of the packet, or should that be a separate?
No, you can put that in.
But the motion was never carried through, so it wasn't really a motion.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we didn't.
We're still in the
Still
middle
in
of it.
discussion.
Right.
Amend mine to include a $50 fee per packet.
Sounds reasonable to me.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Steve, second by Pam. Any further discussion? Any discussion, we'll vote.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yeah.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah.
Steve Dalton,
Yeah.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Okay, thank you. Next item I have is the HUD 3-year CBDG request. We said we wanted to work on, informally, I don't think we voted on it in the last meeting, that we wanted to work on blight demolition, blight and or acquisition. So if that's what council would like to make a motion going forward, let me mention this on both these projects. The CV, I'll just put the CDBG CV project, now that our thing is in, we have until sometime next year to complete this. So getting the bids and things, that's the only thing we have to do to complete that now, is to get this bid right.
And you're talking about the housing part?
No, I'm back to the.
Okay, you're getting me all confused.
Okay, yeah.
Back to the CV, I said, Community Development Block Grant, which is CV, which is the roads and walkway portion of this. I just wanted to go back and let everybody know that we don't have to rush through the bid process, but I would like to, if they can get it done before January, because they're expecting that the prices of asphalt are going to go up exponentially.
Right.
I'm also in favor of getting things done as quickly as possible. So if we get the bids and we can vote and go,
Yeah.
let's go.
Sounds good. And it'll be the same thing as we work on the 3-year community development block grant. Get in what we're going to ask for. And I think, I don't know, Mayor, if you mentioned it last week, I looked again, and we are. It looks like we're going to have $26,000 at our max on this project, whichever one we do. And with that going ahead,
That's our share to that, right?
yes, yeah. So anyway, I didn't have time to print them off, but I will get them to you with a little more detail. A lot of the properties that we have listed, that Dick has worked on from time to time, I know that our priority is 32 Main. I think we can all agree on that.
I would say 32 Main, and then what was the house on Second
213.
Thank you, 213 Second. I would also like added to that. That's the house that was a property we tried to sell, but we couldn't get it because it's off its foundation. I would like to add that to,
Okay.
go ahead and let's just get rid of the house.
Or at least come to council with a list.
Yeah.
That way they can
yeah.
kind of go through it.
Yeah, I kind of started to work on that, wasn't able to get it completed for the council meeting. There are several properties. And we won't have to list them either, we'll just have to list what council's intention is. And I would like to make a motion to that effect, that council intends to do the grant under demolition and acquisition.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Dan Phillips, second by Steve Dalton. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Pam Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
And council, I would like to know, because I'm getting so many questions, maybe Bob could tell us about this. I don't know if council has given any thought to this. What are our obligations concerning the audit? The 16-17 audit?
All the findings for recovery, we should pursue those to obtain the overpayments back from the individuals who received the monies. Because some of them were so obvious that they should have been returned. Some of them were minuscule that could not be noticed, but we have to attempt to recover those monies, because if we don't recover them, either the prosecutor or the attorney general is going to recover them. So what we have to do is we have to recover the monies and place ourselves in a position where we've addressed all the findings for recovery and have recovered the money, because that just goes from one audit report to the next audit report for them to determine, did we take their audit seriously, did we act on it, and did we attempt to recover the money? So that's one of the issues. Another one of the issues in there are just like procedural issues in terms of reconciling bank accounts on a monthly basis. And that's one of the things that Steve brought up tonight, which is as bank accounts and the reconciliations of the bank accounts should happen on a monthly basis so that they're presented to council within a time frame that council can review those bank statements with the clerk's report and independently say, yes, they are correct. Then one of the other issues is the mayor's court statement and the reconciliation of that bank account. Those bank accounts should go, not the original documents. The original document should be maintained by the clerk. But if there's a separate account maintained for the mayor's court, those should be reconciled by the clerk of the mayor's court on a monthly basis. So when you receive the mayor's monthly statement for mayor's court, that's reviewed not only by the clerk, but also, and when I say the clerk, I mean the village clerk, but it's also reviewed by the clerk of the Addyston mayor's court, so that she can go over those numbers and make sure that they reconcile in her account for the monies that were received. Then the other issue is council's overall obligation to review the financial accounts of the village at least on a quarterly basis. And I know they're probably reviewed on a monthly basis, but what we have to do is get some type of a report to council into the minutes of council that the records have been reviewed by the finance committee of council, that report's been made to the members of council, and we have that documentation in not only the council minutes, but also from the committee. The other thing we should do is develop a committee report form for each committee. So it's like a standardized form. So when the committees make a report, that those reports are not only made by the chairman of that committee, but also that they're signed off by the other members on the committee. And then those written reports are turned in to the village clerk so that she has a record of all the committee reports that are submitted. That way, if the issue arises again as far as documentation, she has the committee reports, which will be independent of the minutes of council, but also reported in the minutes of council, and make it easier to locate, find these items. And also the fact that...
Bob,
yes.
May I?
Yeah.
May I know you're going through a lot of things, and obviously you're not going to be able to touch everything that was in that 77-page report. I guess my question is, should council at some point meet to go over the situation, or not?
Well, I think it'd be beneficial to meet, not at a regular council meeting.
No, that's why I'm trying to get away. Yeah,
but to meet and say, how do we implement various improvements to the operation of the village to streamline the operation, make sure you have the documentation for everything, and don't run into a situation like this audit report. This audit report was done by the state auditor and not by Baskin, who had done most of the recent ones. And if Baskin had put anybody on notice of some of these items before, they would have been corrected. But some of the items, you know, would be beneficial, and sit down and go through each one of them and just analyze them and say, you know, did we recover this? Yes, we did. They made a finding on this. What should we do? And then sometimes it's just a matter of following your policy and procedure manuals, and it's like the one ordinance that you passed tonight, which is the events ordinance. It's just a matter of tightening things down so that the documentation is there, so that everybody on council believes they know what was said, but these audit reports are so that somebody who wasn't at the meeting could come to the meeting and get the full picture by reading through documents of what occurred at that council meeting. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, you may be telling a story about what occurred, but what you want to be able to do is provide them with a book that essentially says, if you don't believe me that this is what happened at these council meetings, here's the book that lays it all out in chronological order, what happened when, and you know, if we have to implement resolutions and ordinances for individual items of spending, etc., you know, that's one thing. And it's just really just like this events ordinance, and those ordinances are drawn up just to protect not only council but the clerk, the treasurer, everybody else, to make sure the village is receiving what it's supposed to receive. And then the expenditures of monies and those type of things are, that's just something that has to be reviewed at the council meeting, and just go through the findings one by one and find out exactly where you stand. If it takes a Saturday, you know, I'll come over, it's not a problem.
Mr. Kelly, on that.
Yeah.
The findings are coming in. I have been collecting money from the ones that were overpaid. I have one or two that haven't even acknowledged it. The ones that have, receipts have been, the money's been entered. Audrey has written receipts, which has went into my system, which have been copied and forwarded to Betsy Amen. Okay? There are some things in there. Margret took the blunt of that, but I want you to know, you have a treasurer, you had a treasurer who hardly wasn't in here. Her job was to come in here and separate invoices with checks and mail them out. I'm not going to take the blame for a bunch of crap that two positions were supposed to do. My name's on it because I was treasurer. And there's other things that have gone on, and it makes me feel like crap because it's my name that's on it. I have tried to put an audit thing together for them to audit and look at the books. I have reached out to local government when we haven't balanced to get me so I can balance. My system is balanced all the way through August 31st. I haven't had the chance to get into September because of all the other stuff that's on me because of the 18-19 audit.
Margret, I understand what you're saying, but when Councilman Pillow asked me the question, I don't even think I mentioned your name.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Nor did I.
And the thing that I'm saying is, this isn't an attack on you. It's an issue that the village needs to address so that everybody's on the same page, because the cost of the audits is great.
Oh, yeah.
And if we can get it down to the point where when the state auditor comes in, if we have the procedures in place where they say, well, where's this, where's that, where's the other thing, here's the file, here's when it went to council, here's when it was approved by council. And we have those things individually done. So at that point in time, if we know they're coming in and asking for these things, you know, if we have to keep them on the computer, and if they come in and say, where are all the committee reports, okay? All we have to do is have a file that says committee reports, and they're all logged into that, and say, well, here they are, hit a button, there's your committee reports. Then we may be out a ream or two of paper as opposed to searching files and going through files. So we're trying to anticipate what they would be asking for, and then we have the documentation for it, which kind of streamlines what we want to do. So everybody would be working together to figure out, if the audit cost us this much, how can we drive down the cost of the audit and implement procedures where we have this documentation available to them. So we may have the documentation in the village, but what we want to do is get it so readily accessible that we don't have them billing us for sitting around or waiting, or us having to hire somebody to get the information. That's why I think it would be beneficial to have a meeting on it and discuss these issues and figure out how do we make it work better. That's it. That's it.
That was my question to council. Is that something that council feels like we need to do? Is it, obviously, there's a, you know, we have a responsibility to answer to people when they ask me, and all I can tell them is I don't know. I don't know where we are, so.
And I also know, like, for example, the Finance Committee, we started to try to go through and do a first quarter audit. Mm-hmm. My plan is to table that so we can get the budget together, because the goal is for council to, hopefully next meeting, to have a rough outline of the budget to look over and mm-hmm. discuss, so we can not do a continuance. So I would ask, on behalf of the Finance Committee, if we could, like, the audit isn't going anywhere, if we could wait till we get the budget for next year locked in and approved, and then we can jump that. So we kind of tabled the audit because the budget's coming up, but then our plan was to go back and kind of walk through that, and Margret gave us reports and all kinds of stuff. But we also have to understand it, if that makes any sense.
Exactly, that's my problem.
To be able to go to council and go, okay, we looked at these 3 months and everything checked out, and here's what we checked out. But that was a, God bless Margret, we're sitting there staring at stuff for, it was almost a 2.5-hour meeting. Okay. And we didn't get past January.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Is this for the budget?
No, this was for the, so the Finance Committee is supposed to do quarterly audits.
Yeah.
And we were trying to look at that and figure out that process and what that looks like.
How to do it.
How to do it, and it's a pretty big question, because there's a lot of, you have what you get from the treasurer.
For the audit, for what reason?
Huh?
Why would we table that meeting for the audit?
To let the Finance Committee get the budget in place and council to approve the budget, because we have November and December to get a budget approved. Okay. So I would like to just table.
Well, I'm just curious how that correlates, because 16 and 17, we're obviously not budgeting.
No, it's timing. There's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of committees doing a lot of work. It'd be nice to be able to get that, and when we get into it, the clerk's going to be generating reports, the treasurer's going to be generating reports, and right now it'd be nice to not have to do a continuance on the budget. And so if we're okay with that, I'd like to table it until we get the budget done.
Well, it's not up to me, it's up to her.
Council, that would be my only concern. It'd be nice to get that budget done first.
Just as long as we set some that we're going to do it. I don't care when. I'm in no hurry. I just need to have a clear understanding, and I think that the people around the table can help me understand better what that complete audit is about.
We're keeping you up. But on the audit too, it's not only the budget. I mean, it's policy and procedure, stuff that we've got it there, but we're not enforcing it, we're not following it. It's all of us, employees, council. I mean, we all got to take the blame. Because I don't think that we are following that, the procedure manual's there, and look stuff, I know it's not being done, I was gonna bring it up, but I won't, it's too long to list, but I mean, it's like, there's policies in there that we're not following, so we're just as bad, we're not making sure that where is these items that we're not receiving.
Was, sometimes it's like putting together an agenda. And so when you come to the council meetings, there is an agenda there. And it's like a checklist of going over items that are due at this particular point in time. Even if you don't take action on them,
Yeah.
you can move to extend the time, which will then be recorded in your minutes. And then it'll go back on the agenda for the next council meeting or whenever it was deferred to. But at that point in time, you have essentially a running record of what you're supposed to do. And everybody knows what's supposed to be done. So if the state auditor comes in and says, where's the agenda and where's the action? You've got a series of agendas that are tailored to meet the requirements of the policy and procedure manual at a minimum, and you work off of that.
Yeah, well, that's all good. We can get into all those things, but the bottom line is we need to be able to figure out what that report said, the report that we have, the 77-page report, and what it means. And I don't anticipate what it means. I want to understand. I want to really know. I could read that thing 3 times and not come to a conclusion as to everything that we should do and understand. And that's just what I'm getting at, and that's the only reason I bring it up, because it's something we have to do as a council. We should do it as a council instead of having everybody telling everybody in the community stuff that I've already heard that wasn't true, you know. So we just need to get it set down, get it clear. And if I'm the only one that's not comprehending around this table, I apologize.
So when do we want to set this meeting? Or does council want to set this meeting?
According to, you know, to Steve, would like to postpone it maybe till the end of December or January. Is that where you're thinking?
December, early January would be ideal.
Okay.
Just because.
Yeah. I'm fine with whatever date you set up. I just needed to know that there was something moving forward for everybody, or at least me, to have a clearer understanding.
Why don't we take one of our council member meetings and make it the meeting to
Really get into it.
It's going, obviously, it's going to take a while, you know that.
Oh,
I think it would be better to maybe set up a Saturday when you have all day to do it, or set up some hours on a Saturday rather than come in and try to stretch out a council meeting to go through those 77 pages or whatever it is.
Well, I don't think we want to do that in one sitting either.
No.
Like, I know we sat down, I was on the phone call with the auditor, and that was an hour and a half, and that's a lot. You really got to break it up into chunks and almost like, what are the, like Betsy did kind of say, these are the things I'm really worried about. Like, she red flagged them. One of them is currently still under investigation that we're paying for. So maybe you almost need to have a meeting where we talk about, these are the key things we like. What are the things council needs to focus on? What are the big things in the 77-page document?
Well, I don't know which committee, finance or laws and contract, whichever one. Why don't you guys just kind of take a look at it and bring something back to us?
What if we ask Betsy, could you give us the 5 most important things council needs to address? Like, what are the 5 big issues, and we can start there.
But at the same time, we have to realize that we have another auditing process now.
Yeah.
So we need to settle on what's going on, or what went on with the previous one, because what's going to come up the next round.
Oh yeah, and any changes we've made now aren't going to show up for several audits.
Okay, so council, I mean, is that fine with you that that we leave the date setting to the Finance and/or the Laws and Contracts Committee, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be done tonight, just so we know that we're gonna schedule some time later, and I prefer that we do.
I don't have a problem looking at like the stuff that's laws and contracts, that committee, but a lot of it is finance, so.
Mhm. It's just about setting the dates
Yeah.
and bring them back to us. Is that good? You guys will have a meeting at some point in time.
We're gonna plan on having one Monday, but we're really
Yeah.
focusing on the budget.
Just put that on your agenda. Thank you very much, Mayor, that's all I have.
All right, Lisa,
Nothing at this time here.
Ms. Ann?
The only thing I have is, have a planning meeting scheduled for the 10th at 6 o'clock here for the planning committee, commission type joint meeting. And that would be to,
Mayor, before you go there, Ken, I did omit one thing, and that is the Housing Our Future strategy. I was going to bring it up tonight. The mayor sent it out so everybody can see where we were on that. We have several community members who are going to be questioned. It started off being about a half hour. The last thing I read was going to be about an hour interviews with the people involved. I think everybody got a copy of that. I had that to bring up tonight. But just so you know that ball is rolling, and we're excited about that. Thank you.
What time is this meeting, Ann? 6?
tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tuesday the 10th.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock here, and we'll be talking about, just to be, bring the committee up to date on where we are, and also to look at fundraising projects. That's all I have.
Just so everyone's,
But
Yeah.
she's talking about the planning commission council.
That's a committee.
That's a committee. That's different than a commission.
Yeah, but the people who were working on that commission, I believe, were meeting. It met as a committee and a commission. Yeah, I think that's what Lisa's wanting to clarify.
well, because, you know, having those combined all the time, we're supposed to keep some of that separate. I mean, commission is not supposed to be all the time combined with a planning committee. Commission is of itself.
Yes, and we have had separate meetings when certain planning things come up. We have had that. In the past, we've had, meetings on, what do you call those, zoning ordinances, because they were the same people. The mayor may have put some different people on, but we had the same people on both of those. We were able to combine those back in the day.
Right, but what, you have like the planning commission and the zoning board
Yes.
of appeals.
Yes.
Those two boards can consist of the same members,
Mm-hmm.
but they have to be separate meetings. So they can have their
Right.
meetings on the same night, but they have to open and close their meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So the planning commission, which is separate and apart from council,
Yes.
approves variances, that type of thing. And they recommend zone changes to council. And then those zone changes would come to council, or a council can initiate their own zone changes if they so desire. But even if council initiates the zone change, it still goes back to the planning commission. So the planning, you have a planning committee of council, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That planning
separate.
committee is separate and distinct from the zoning commission.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That make it, is that what you were thinking?
Well, yeah, because she's saying like they're having a joint meeting
A joint meeting between.
Because those people
with
who
commission
are,
and committee.
those people who are on the commission are in a part of that commission, is that not the community? Is the commission the community?
Yes.
The commission, they all have to be residents of the community,
Yeah.
and then they're more or less a subservient board to the entire council. And they submit recommendations to council. And so if individual council members wanted to go to the commission, they could, but it's not like council's in control of the commission, because the commission's a separate body, and then they present their recommendations to council as a whole to vote on. And I know it kind of gets mixed over time because it's hard to get these boards filled, but that's the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'm having a meeting on Tuesday, a week from tomorrow.
Right, that's the planning committee of council, right?
No, it takes in the community as well, because we have community people who are on that committee, and I am the chair of the planning committee, and I think that a representative from the planning committee works with the commission. Is that correct?
Yes, one.
Yeah.
It's the mayor, a representative of council, and 3 citizens.
Okay, so I as chair have nothing to do with the commission. I just need to know that. Because,
Well, you're a representative in the commission. I can give you the whole thing how it works.
maybe I misunderstood what you just said. You said, as mayor, you are the representative for the council.
No, she is.
No, that's
she
not
is
what I
the mayor.
said.
Oh, that's what I'm saying,
No, I'm saying how it's the establishment of it. Like, there's a mayor, a council representative, as representatives,
Mhm.
and then 3 citizens on a commission.
Okay.
And it is
That's correct.
independent of the planning committee
Mhm. But,
Council.
yeah,
of council.
right. So what, I guess the clear cut we just want to make sure is that
When you're posting the meetings, it's either the committee or the planning commission, or you have it
they
closed one,
can't, they
open
can't meet
one,
together.
round robin.
They can't meet together. That's my question, my question.
I don't know, can
Can council's planning committee meet
Meet
with
the planning commission?
they can meet with the planning commission as
Okay.
long as everything's advertised
Yeah,
or
sure.
published.
they? Okay.
Okay,
I just wanted to
I think we're on the
make sure
same
that was
page.
clear. I'm sorry?
All I need to know if I'm supposed to go to this meeting that I'm setting up for. That's all I need to know. If I'm not
Phyllis, you
supposed
just
to,
said that you were the representative on the commission, the council representative, I believe that's what you said.
Yeah,
That's what you
She's a
said.
committee.
And what's the purpose
I
of
wasn't
the
questioning whether you could or you couldn't, that wasn't the question.
Mhm.
the purpose of the meeting is to update where we are and to look at fundraising. That was the purpose.
Okay.
And because also on that, the committee and commission meet together, because Dan Dalton and Pam Jackson are on the committee as well, so we all usually meet along with the public, or the community, I should say.
Right, you're talking about a planning committee as far as scheduling events and that type of thing, which would be the council committee. And when we're talking about the planning commission, we would be talking about zone changes, variances, that type of thing. So what you're talking about is the planning committee of council to meet to discuss events coming up in the future. And then you also wear the hat of the zoning commission, which is variances and that type of thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so.
They're two, do you understand what I'm saying? They're two separate things.
I do, and I'm sorry we get into these discussions about these things, but understand when we met originally, we were just trying to get community input, and we had people who were at that time a part of the zoning planning commission, and these were the people kind of helping out in planning our community, parks, playgrounds, and those types of things. So I don't know if we want to change that, but anyhow, that's how.
I mean, it's not a change, I'm just trying to follow the way it's supposed to be.
Sure. Just how we got certain people who are involved, and then there's the little mix-up as to whether they should have been. But those people were brought to council as members of the zoning planning committee some time ago. Commission, sorry. It's very confusing when you keep saying committee, commission. But I think what the mayor has put together is serves our purpose. We just wanted to make sure that they can still meet and plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, that's all.
Essentially what Ms. Pillow would be doing is she would be calling a meeting of the planning committee of council. And then she would invite the planning commission or the zoning board of appeals to that meeting and say, these are the objectives of the village council, and we want your input in terms of those. But that's a whole that's different than the zoning.
I think that clears it really well. I think we're all on the same page now.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everybody's got to vote tomorrow.
Yeah.
Say something, Steve, quick.
Are we ready for me? Are we ready for the
I
mayor?
was waiting to see if she.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She wanted to send if she had anything else. All right, Steve, go ahead.
Finance committee's gonna meet on Monday, the 6 p.m. The primary and only real topic is getting into and building the budget for the 2021 year. Our goal is to be able to give a rough draft to council by the 15th, so council can have some time to look over it, ask questions, with the hopes of it being approved by the 1st, so we're good to go for 2021. That's it.
Does the maintenance, didn't he put in for something?
Well,
did,
maybe
but
the guy will talk about.
I was gonna say, I was
that.
assuming they were gonna ask for it.
Are you
That's all I got.
Thank you, Steve. Pam?
Just what we're going to do on November the 4th, laws and contracts, a drive through to look at the problem areas. I know I mentioned this at our special meeting because of the ordinance that we had. So I don't know how we're going to ride along or who with who. And is it still, do we say?
Okay, what was that date again? I'm sorry.
The 4th.
Did you say some time?
1 p.m.
Wednesday.
1 p.m. Is that still correct? I know the Yep, that's all right. That's what I had written. The only other things other than that is dealing with laws and contracts. I think I did talk to Ms. Bull about this, about employees. We haven't seen like the ones that come off probation, like our police officers, which I know it's already past the fact, the 6-month probation. And then like if we have any officers that's doing like the 40-hour agreements, I know some officers seem to have more hours than others. Just making sure that we're up on all those kind of things. Looking more into the policy procedure, make sure everybody's got a copy. And I don't know, it's probably going to be a good idea to sit down with employees. We have so many new people to make sure they understand. And if everybody's signing off on it, making sure Margret gets a copy of that policy and procedure. I know this is village.
Back it yet? Okay.
Nope. I think
Department
I
head, make sure you
have
get all your
four.
employees' signatures
I
back.
think I have 4 officers, and I don't have anything back from maintenance.
Yeah, these are things that give us some trouble, so just tightening up in these
That's
areas.
fine.
And
You
then,
did get the blue book, did you both get the policy and procedures book, clear front? There's a page that you need to sign, give it back to the clerk.
And vacation leave, you know, how it doesn't roll over. I think the only one we got left now is Aaron, basically. So in the year period, if whenever her, I don't know her start date, that's something else we're gonna have to tighten up on to know when her year is up, to make sure everybody's using their time like they should.
Well, isn't it the end of the year? It's not an anniversary date, is it?
Well, when somebody starts anew, it's gonna be different.
For the
We have new employees.
anniversary
We have,
date.
yeah, like it's gonna be different for, yeah, it's gonna be the
Okay, so
anniversary
those
date.
things we'll have to know.
We got new ones coming in now, it's like, it's gonna be different.
No, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a letter, like, say if it's the mayor's appointment, have a letter to council stating who it is that's being appointed, what they're being appointed to. If they are hourly employee, what the rate is, and on there put to be reviewed at 6 months. Something that's, there again, a procedure type thing that the auditors can look at when they come in, because they do ask for those type of things.
And again, longevity pay is coming up for Aaron for this year. So that'll be the first paycheck in
First pay of
December.
December.
But we don't have, that's already an ordinance on the book, we don't have to make a motion or anything.
No, it's just remembering to do these things.
We have to remember to do it every year.
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't seen. But, you know, we will set another laws and contracts to, so let's get this one done first for the right to the village.
All right,
And that's all I have.
thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll go ahead and head to the maintenance guy. RJ?
I got two things for you guys. I was informed that maintenance had $4,800 for a new salt spreader.
Did you want your papers back? So you know what you're looking at?
Yeah.
If I may, Chip last year, actually for the last 2 years, had requested a salt spreader. We weren't able to get it in the budget 2 years ago, but we were able to get it in the budget this year for him. So that's where he was talking about the $4,800. That's what Chip requested going into this budget.
I'll make a motion that we buy the salt spreader.
I'll second it. Can we amend it, where the funds are coming from?
Yeah, sure.
It's coming out of maintenance capital outlay.
And what fund?
It's the, here Margaret, here's the code.
No, I mean, is it the street maintenance and repair? Is it general
It's
fund?
general fund.
Is it permissive?
General fund, it's that account code, capital outlays.
I got all this. I just think it ought to be in motion.
That's why he was saying it.
Yeah, instead of like saying the 1,620, 500, 1,000, or 1,006 capital outlay.
All I wanted to know basically if it was the general fund, the street fund, maintenance, whatever. That's all I wanted to know.
Better than what we got.
Okay, are we good?
Is that all our
Motion by,
discussion?
are you good with that motion?
Yes. Yes,
Motion by Dan
fine.
Pillow, second by Steve. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
Anything else, RJ?
Yeah, the next one is, I got a bid on another backhoe. It's the cheapest one I could find. I believe you guys all have the copy of it. It's from Southeastern. It's the same company that sold us the one we had. This one's a 2003. It's $30,500. I believe waterboard is going to go in half on it.
Board did say they would do that.
Were we looking at loan, were we looking at paying outright? Did we?
He said if we bought new and did a loan, I forgot exactly how it went.
Then you would have to do quarterly, I think.
Yeah, quarterly. But anyway,
And also that price is different.
yeah, for
That's
a brand
more
new
like
one.
$80,000.
Yeah, 80,000. He did find a 2010 model, or no, 2012 model for 50,000. But that's still on the high end too. But this one here, it's got low hours on it. Like I said, it was the cheapest one we could find.
Is there any warranty that comes with it or anything like that?
No.
So theoretically, we could be buying one with the same issues that we've got sitting over there right now.
I mean, correct, we could, but that one over there is also a late 80s, early 90s model.
Okay, there is that.
I mean, it is newer at least. It's not new, but
Yeah.
newer.
Newer doesn't mean better.
How long do they need to know, like, yay or nay, because it's like, we wouldn't have the funds this fiscal, it would
Correct.
be.
No, I
He's
was-
just bringing it.
Yeah, I was just bringing it up to show you guys that I had looked. I mean, he didn't say when he needs to know, but he did say, I mean, if it's gone, it's gone. But we can always find something different. So,
And is this about an average, so like if we were gonna build in the budget covering this between us and the water board, assuming the water board will sign off on this high of amount, is this about average in terms of what you would be able to get? Or is this like bargain bin, you're never gonna see this price again?
that's very possible. That is very possible. So, I mean, like I said, this was the cheapest one he found. He said usually they're around the 50,000 range for a used one, but he just happened to have this one. He did give us a price on ours. I believe it was $4,500, I want to say.
Oh, as a trade-in?
As a trade-in, yes.
So if we tried to budget, and I don't know if this is realistic, but if we tried to budget around 40,000 and then you also have the trade-in.
I'm sure we could find something.
Okay. No promises, I gotta look and we gotta talk to the water board.
Correct.
Correct. This gives us a nice number to work with.
Okay, yeah, correct.
So how are we right now on what we've got? That's so
Like
old.
it is happening.
I mean, our
We've
backhoe.
been talking about that for 5 years. We know how bad that is.
I know, I mean, at the present moment. I mean, I know we've been repairing and fixing this leak and that leak and.
Yeah, right now, currently, it's leaking fuel, and we got another hydraulic leak
I
on
mean,
it.
that's what's
And
happening.
that's after just putting, I think, we put $1,200 into it about a month ago. The only thing really it's good for right now is just using the front bucket. We can't dig with it or nothing. Every time we have a water break, we just rent equipment from West Clark.
So this needs to happen sooner than later.
Oh, yeah, unless you guys want to dip another $1,000 for it to just throw its hydraulic fluids out again. then-
So with something like this, Bob, do we need an ordinance to enter into an agreement to, are you looking at financing it, or are you looking at, I mean, I know it's gonna be between the two groups, but whatever you
Yeah,
do,
this is
whatever you
just
do.
bringing it.
Well, right now, I'd like to at least research our options and then come back to council and like, if we can pay for it up front and not have to go through a loan, that would be, but we gotta talk to the water board, we also gotta look at our options. Hopefully you're not thinking like you want us to okay 30,000 tonight.
No, I was just bringing it up.
But we're definitely we hear you, this has been a priority for like.
Well,
Dan said.
this will fit right into our meeting on Monday,
Yeah, so
so.
thank you for giving us a number to kind of get a right idea to wrap our head around.
Is that all?
That's all I have here.
All right, we're good for the chief.
Couple things. I'm gonna need to purchase a small amount of duty ammunition. One of our officers went to the range and did not use the correct magazine in his handgun and used his duty ammo instead of target ammo at the range this past week. And I do not have any other duty ammo to hand out to him. I've got him using some that I had spare, which is it's not the same grainage as our current. That'd be about $60 for new ammo.
Make a motion to spend $60 to get new ammunition.
Second it.
Motion by Steve, second by Dan. Any discussion?
You did give them a lecture in their file, I hope.
It was not nice.
I'm sorry. Hello.
We should document this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said I called for the vote.
Are we taking the vote, or is everybody?
Yeah, he said,
Okay.
yeah.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Hillo,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
The other thing I have is I still have myself, Officer Burlage, and the 2 auxiliaries to get qualified. The Indian Hill Range, which we normally use, is booked through the end of the year. I have to do yearly qualifications. I'm attempting to get into St. Bernard's Range at their PD, which will hopefully be free of charge, but if not, I may have to reserve some time at Great Oaks to get the range in. Otherwise, come January 1st, myself, Officer Burlage will have to come off the street. Great Oaks range is $75 an hour. I'll know more come next council meeting, but I just want to make you all aware that I may have to do that.
Have you tried, I don't know if it'll work for you, but what about Fairfield Sportsmen's Association?
You have to be a member.
What if you have a member, like I'm a member?
I could check with them.
Like, if that'll save you guys a $75 fee.
Yeah.
Now, I can't qualify you or anything, but.
Yeah, I've got an officer that can qualify us. I just got to find the range. Indian Hill filled up a lot quicker. I'm waiting on them to send me the list for next year, so I have my days set for next year ahead of time. Because Indian Hill's $75 for an 8-hour day. So 2 days next year will be $150 at the range instead of $400.
I make a motion we allow Chief to qualify the Officer Burbridge.
Second.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My discussion, the question is, you said you, Officer Burlage, and the two auxiliary officers, so not just we're all together.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that the motion covers.
Yes, please amend.
And this is with the understanding that if we can do it at minimum cost, we go that route.
Yeah, I've got, like I said, I got St. Bernard, and I'm also going to check with Springdale. Springdale has an indoor range as well. I'm trying to do St. Bernard first because the guy that we use to qualify us has a good relationship with their chief. So I'm hoping that he'll let us use it just for a couple hours to get it done.
And my question is, I mean, just like the $60 for ammunition, doesn't that come under the mayor's purview that we allowed that office to spend up to a certain amount of dollars to get small things like this done? I mean,
No, apparently I can't.
I think it's in the
You
case
know, I
of
get
an
in here and
emergency.
then it's all.
case of an emergency?
I think that's the clarification, that
Okay.
it has to be an emergency.
All right.
You better remember the rules have changed since the last handbook, and things have been changed around. And it does say like expenditures is like 175, I believe. Then they have to come to council, and for emergencies, I think there's something in there that the mayor can do, but there again, it's a certain amount of money.
But $160, I mean.
Anything that has to do with firearms or ammunition, I want to bring in front of council.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Very good.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Did we vote on this motion yet?
Nope.
No, I was waiting, everybody finished.
No, we're all over the place tonight, it's all good.
All right, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow?
Yay.
Lisa Stafford?
Yay.
Dan Pillow?
Yay.
Steve Dalton?
Yay.
Pam Jackson?
Yay.
Trying to do this quick, I know everybody wants to go home. At the last meeting, you guys had discussed before we could accept any donations that it has to come through council. Here's my question where I could run into a problem with this. Just like last week, I got 12 riot helmets from Centerville PD at no cost. They were donated to us. If I have to take the time to wait a week or 2 weeks to get with you guys to take a donation like that, we're gonna lose it. I just got us $9,000 worth of helmets for nothing.
Also tourniquets.
And tourniquets for our officers. We got those at no cost. So if I have to wait 2 weeks or a week to talk to you guys, we're gonna lose out on a lot of possibilities. Also, City of Springboro is getting ready to give us these police cars. If I tell them, hey, I got 2 weeks to wait, you're gonna have to hold on to it, that car's gonna be gone.
Well, is it something that you could let us know it's a possibility ahead of time? So like,
Yeah.
we know about the cruisers, so.
Yeah, there should be 3 of those. Generally, I can, but like the riot helmets just popped up. I happened to be checking my email. It popped up from the Law Enforcement Safety Office, and I was the first one to call him. Today, they had some other stuff come up that for officers' duty belts. I wasn't there. I was a day late, dollar short. But stuff like that that comes up that can be donated, small things like that.
You can always get the stuff and bring it down. Okay. If you get it, bring it down, submit it to council. If it's free, you know, that's one thing. I don't know about the cars, because if you end up with 3 cars, and then you've got 2 here, and you gotta pay insurance and everything else, that's a different type of expense. But, you know, if you're getting something for nothing, that there's no residual expense for it, take it and come down and present it. If
It's up to council. I've got an agency willing, getting ready to give me $70,000 worth of police cars at no cost. If this is gonna be an issue, I'll call Spring Road, don't keep them.
What's the cost? So it's just the maintenance, correct? There's no like out of pocket for the village?
Only thing we'll have to do is put stickers on them. We got somebody willing to donate those.
Like ours.
Make a motion that we let him
Fully equipped.
accept the vehicles that are gonna be donated.
I second the motion.
Motion by Lisa Stafford, second by Steve. Any discussion?
We just need to make sure you get who it's from, blah, 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 the whole, you know that. The whole 9 yards.
Yeah, even though it's a donation, write it out like a
Everything will
contract.
go to
yeah.
Margret and everything will go to council.
And there are no stipulations like, so like, let's say we get 3 of them and all of a sudden we decide we really only want 2 of them and we want to sell 1 off.
What they would probably ask us to do would be donated, just like.
And that's fine, just
Yeah.
knowing that so
Yes.
we don't do anything stupid.
Yes.
How old are the vehicles?
2016 or 15?
16.
Can I ask the solicitor a question on this? On this, if they accept them, and, you know, if they get them, shouldn't there be some kind of legal document, like a resolution, ordinance, something saying that the village of Addyston accept, you know, council has accepted these donations?
You can do a resolution, but I mean, for purposes of getting them here,
Oh, I understand
council
that, I'm
wants to
just
get
talking about
them,
the
get them here,
after
and you
fact.
can pass a resolution at the next meeting, if you want one.
Because we actually don't have the money. Right. All right, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
And the last thing I have
Oh,
is,
can we, like to make a motion that we also accept the 9 helmets,
12.
12 helmets,
Tourniquets.
12 helmets.
and tourniquets?
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by
Dan.
Dan Phillip. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
And the last thing I have that
Is that
was
all coming from Spring?
discussed at the last meeting, per the ordinance,
Just card.
I would like to formally move Officer Darnell Pate to be the Community Relations Officer for the Addyston Police Department.
I make a motion that we accept Darnell Pate as the Community Relations Officer.
Second.
Motion by Lisa, second by Steve. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
That's all I have. I believe Officer Pate does have something he wanted to go over with you all in regards to the, that was requested.
Memorandum of understanding.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you did bring that up. I forgot about that. The memorandum of understanding you have is for the OVI task force. Something we have to redo every year. I brought that in for you all to look over and approve. The sooner I get it back to them, the sooner we can get back to working the streets on OVI car. Until I have that signed and returned to Blue Ash, they cannot work the detail. The other part on that, which I would have to get with Margret, at the meeting with them, they were doing the pay rate for those. We are going to be increased from $30 to $40 an hour with council's approval. I don't know if you have to do a resolution for that to raise the rate of pay from that from $30 to $40 per hour for the OVI car, and that is reimbursed at that rate.
It will have to be a resolution done, because that's one of the things they will ask for, and I'll
That's why I didn't say anything back in, because I have to get with you reference fringe and all that stuff on the sheet. Matter of fact, I'll just give it to you once everything's done, if you can get a chance to fill it out.
Bob, you need to do, he just said that about the salary, that it's going from $30 an hour to $40 an hour. So that I don't,
You have to put that in an ordinance.
Yeah.
And do we have to have is it a resolution that would accept this document, or do we?
Yes. In other words, when you accept this document, there, let's see here.
And just for your ordinance, that $40 an hour pay rate would be for the OBI task force only.
Okay.
Underline only.
That would not be for any other details.
No, and that's the way it's specified, and it has to be listed on the ordinance so that the auditors are happy that there's something to tie it against.
And you've gone through this entire memorandum and know everybody is qualified.
And the only way they are allowed to work the OBI task force is if they are certified with horizontal gaze and nystagmus, and they know how to do the other field sobriety tests. That's part of the requirements for running the OBI task force.
This is just the extension of the contract that we already have.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the MOU just changes every year. All they do is change the date on it. It's the same one we've been doing for 10 years.
But we do have to update the pay.
Yeah, the pay is the only thing that needs to be adjusted.
So we need a resolution to accept this contract, then we need an ordinance to change the pay for the OBI only.
Yes.
Okay.
Bob, can you bring that for us next council meeting?
Can you ask for a do it by motion?
What kind of deadline?
Do we need a motion, or can we just do it?
There's no deadline on it. It's just they can't work the task force until I have this paperwork.
And I'll prepare the ordinance.
Thank you, Bob.
Getting to be that time of the year. We need to have.
Appreciate that, Bob. All right.
Well, there would be a general consent on Bob doing the ordinance with the resolution to bring it back to the next meeting with pay to be included.
Okay. So you already
Do we want to do that?
Oh, it's just a general, okay, gotcha.
Consent.
Got it?
So when I get back the next time, you know.
Bob, I do have a question on that, since the ordinance for the pay will not be back until the next council meeting. If they approve the MOU, can I still, can I return that back to Blue Ash and let them start working, because they won't be reimbursed their pay till the end of the month anyways?
Once you get the resolution.
Okay.
So we have to have the resolution to accept it, which we don't have the resolution tonight.
Okay. So it's gonna be a couple weeks after. Okay, I just needed to let the lieutenant out of Blue Ash know what's going on.
I think our next meeting's the 15th, isn't it?
17.
17th.
Is that too long?
No, that,
16.
I'd just like to have it done, have them out on the roads, able to work some OBI hours around Thanksgiving.
Could we do a Zoom on that or not?
The 17th would be fine, Pam.
Your next meeting's the 16th.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
And as soon as we approve it.
As long as they have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for Darnell now?
Well, as long as she's done, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. It's your turn.
Thank you. I like them.
So,
Let me know when you're done.
Thursday, you guys asked that I break down a clear understanding on paper proposing the fundraising for the community policing initiative. So, our wonderful mayor gave you guys a packet, and I accidentally gave you guys the first page twice. So,
That's okay.
it breaks down each fundraiser, the potential income each could bring, and what the fundraiser could be used for. You guys already approved the department calendar, but I'll go over it anyway. What we're doing, it will feature advertising from 41 businesses in the Hamilton County or surrounding areas. Each ad will range from $25 to $200. Selling all spots would bring in $3,050. The cost to print 500 calendars would be $590. And selling 500 calendars at $20 each would bring in $10,000, totaling $12,460. The next would be the Fill the Hat Weekend. Fill the Hat Weekend would be a predetermined weekend approved by council where a group of officers will stand at the intersection of Main Street and Dining Lane US 50 with a large banner to raise money for the above stated cause. It's impossible to estimate how much income that would bring in.
Do you have a weekend you want to do that?
It's warm.
When it's warm,
Hey, this week.
Yeah, I mean,
Warm this
it'll
week.
have to be like sometime this month, because I'm not staying out there in December.
Supposed to be 70 this week.
Yeah, this would be a good week.
I'll be in Sturgis this weekend, so it won't be this weekend. Then the next one will be the twice a month, 6-month raffle with a start date of Friday, November 6th. Officers of the Addyston Police Department will start selling raffle tickets at $5 each, or 6 tickets for $20. The cost of printing the tickets on the flyer that will be handed out, which each ticket that I gave you guys before that listed the prizes and the dates, would be $150. Selling 3,000 tickets, we have the ability to raise between $10,000 and $15,000. All prizes will be donated to the department and submitted to council for approval. In the event that we have to use the raffle money to purchase a prize, request will be submitted to council to do so. Like I said, I gave you guys the list of prizes and the dates that said will be drawn. The next would be the Jim and Jack's concert. Jim and Jack's Bar on River Road has decided to partner with us to host a benefit concert to help raise money for the above stated cause. This would cost the village no money. This night would kick off the raffle drawing, and there will also be basket raffles, which will be donated by different companies. I know that the K-9 hasn't been approved yet, but for the people that are donating specifically for that cause, they're asking for a letter that would state that, and also there's a grant, a $5,000 grant from the National Association of Chiefs of Police, where they would match $5,000 that we would raise when we get that grant in March.
So first thing is council really needs to start grappling with the, do we want a K-9 unit or not? I'd like to make a motion that we ask the police committee to, I feel like that's probably the first place to start is the police committee. And then it'll probably bounce to legal and then also finance, but maybe like make a motion that we start with the police committee to look into this, about starting our own K-9 unit.
I'll second that.
Motion by Steve, second by Dan Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
So tonight, I'm asking that you guys allow us to do the listed fundraisers. If you turn to the Excel sheet, it breaks down the cost and possible revenue for each fundraiser.
The only question I have, Darnell, is that with the police committee seeing that we need a K-9, are discussing to bring something back to council as to our feelings or to the next generation. Still says in the opening thing that the fundraisers are being raised to start a K-9 unit.
This is for you guys. This is the fundraisers that we put out as the community relations.
But it says to support the above.
That'll be reworded before it's set out.
Yeah.
So this is not. Was just for you guys because you guys asked me to propose.
I appreciate that.
And then also, I haven't really had a chance to talk with Darnell a lot about this. The ones that are requesting, we give them a letter that they're donating for a K-9 program. I'm going to make sure he includes in that if for some reason council decides not to go with a K-9 program, we will keep track of those funds that they donate and they will be returned to them unless they choose to let it go to the community policing initiative.
And you gave us tickets. In one of the other packets, you gave us the ticket design. They're all numbered. And you're tracking that, what officers sell what tickets and making sure all tickets that go out are either accounted for in physical person or money?
Right, so they'll have a ticket number on each ticket. Each officer will get a ticket, like a number, say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they'll get through 1,300, and I'll know who has that, and either they turn in the money or the tickets.
Will there be a sign-off sheet?
Yeah.
So like, Chief McWhorter gets 25 tickets, he signs off that he has those 25 tickets, and then he's responsible for returning the tickets or the funds that supports the ticket?
Correct, and there'll be an Excel sheet stated what was turned in and when it was turned in by you.
Counselor, any other concerns? Margaret, any concerns with handling money or treasure, and like, any concerns from your end about any of these fundraisers?
One last question on the little copy of the tickets that you gave us before. It said specifically on their K-9. It has to be taken off?
Yeah, you can change it.
Okay.
It'll just
I
say
didn't know if that
community
was,
initiative.
that's just, okay. And it can say police initiative. Then I make a motion that we approve the fundraising events for the police
Community Police Initiative.
commission, community policing initiative.
Can we amend that to make sure that all publications do not mention K-9 unit? Since everything that's in front of us right now does say K-9 unit?
Okay, I make a motion then that we approve all of the fundraising for the community policing initiative without advertising for a K-9 unit. That all the advertising is for the fundraising to go towards the community policing initiative.
Second.
Motion by Lisa Stafford, second by Steve. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Pamela,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Angelo,
Yeah.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Feel a little better, Darnell?
I'm cold.
Oh, okay. Did you want to do it now or?
Can I add something?
I was gonna ask him if he wanted to address council. Now that you've heard the whole thing, we'll go to the audience.
No, I'm good.
Margaret,
I do have some too. I'll wait for Margaret's one.
There was some discussion, and as you know, our police clerk has switched over to, with the Baldwin system, she's able to accept payments online, and she has a new credit card scanner, which is through Rich Pay. It's not associated with PNC Bank. It is strictly for her office in her area. The water clerk is set up with the same company to accept water payments online, and that comes in through where Audrey and I see it. Well, we've taken it a step further, and we have it set up where if somebody comes in to do a building permit or something like that, there was really no way to do it, so I am receiving a unit, a credit card unit for upstairs, and then we've also set it up where we can accept payments online for those things. And I'm gonna pass this out to everybody. This is a copy. This is for donations, and it's gonna be listed under the clerk's office unless you don't want it. If you want it under somebody else, it has to be Audrey. It can't be just anybody. Because we're responsible for the village funds. So on this, it is set up for donations online. If you click on our website, go to Clerk, drop down, it'll say Village of Addyston donations. We have it set up where we can add, people can donate for the Christmas fund, the Parks Project, the Police Initiative, and We Thrive. That's what we have on there right now. If they want to do a building permit or a donation that's not listed, there's a way that they can add a donation in here and name what it is they want. If they want to do a building permit, they would click that it's not a donation. And this comes into our general fund. Audrey and I will see it, and then this company also will send me a list of all the monies they have received. And with the police initiative, what I will do is when those payments come in, I will see that the police department gets a copy of any donations that come in, or Audrey can print it off for them. But there's got to be some control, and that is the internal control.
And when we do get a donation, that if we go with this, when we get those, can that be something be added to the report?
Oh, yeah, it'll be added.
And so it's kind of planned until we do see it.
Well, yeah.
It's a thin question.
Yeah, well, when she does her report, when I do my report, if you want a copy of all of them come in, whenever they give us the list, we'll just make a copy and email it out to everybody.
They're sending you a donation, you have to accept it.
Yep.
by
Do what?
council.
Yes.
You guys
They're-
just passed that crazy
They're making a
thing.
donation,
You have to.
council has to vote to accept it.
So, yeah, we'll have to have a report saying what donations came in so that we can accept them.
Oh, I thought our ordinance y'all just passed said you have to ask permission before you can take a donation. I don't know, did that ordinance go through laws and contracts? Or where did that ordinance just, there it is?
We did talk about donations early on when we did the policy.
That didn't go through any committees?
Yeah, policy contracts.
Oh. Okay then.
Well, my point is everybody's always grabbing, there's no way to make any online payments, and since Audrey and I are charged with trying to keep controls of things, and there are internal controls, which is one of the things we got written up for, so this is it. Not everybody can just do it. Okay, I'm done.
Do you need a motion from us to move forward with this?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with
Well, I mean,
the,
everything should have a motion, I guess, right? That's
Yeah.
what you said.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with the Addyston online donation /
Payments.
payments.
I'll second it.
Motion by Steve, second by Pam. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Angelo?
Yay.
Mrs. Stafford?
Yay.
Ann Pillow?
Yeah.
Steve Dalton?
Yay.
And Jackson?
Yay. The other thing I did want to, if Margaret's done, I forgot we were speaking about, I know I sent out, I talked about the last council meeting about the thin blue line. I did send it out to everybody got to see what it's about. Just wanted to see what your pleasure was. I figure the cost, RJ said would be probably a gallon of paint in their time.
Yeah.
The blue line.
The blue line. From out here, probably maybe to Church Street or shorter, whatever.
Oh, I certainly would like to make a motion that we do that. I think that's a very neat, good idea to show our support to our police department.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Fuller, second by Lisa Stafford. Any discussion? On the motion, how far you guys want to go so if you know? Like you said, the Church Street or just here?
Said
Germany.
Yeah, Germany, right out
Church
there.
Street.
Germany.
It's kind of where it ends.
Just go there, okay.
How far would the paint go?
Yeah. Just from here to.
Can we make a motion to as far as the paint goes?
Wherever you get with that gallon.
Can you make a gallon of paint go that far? Come on.
Because I would prefer personally to go from dining, where there's a lot of traffic, to at least be able to look and see that. If it'll go that far.
We might need a couple.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
We might need a couple gallon in that case.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, if that's what you
If that's
want,
what-
if you know what you want.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm in the motion, in my second to cover. that.
All right.
There we
Any
go.
further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Ann Pillow?
Yay.
Lisa Stafford?
Yay.
Ann Pillow?
Yay.
Steve Dalton?
Yay.
Tim Jackson?
Yay.
Cornell?
I do have a question.
Oh, no.
I guess I have a request.
Nobody said a motion to adjourn quick enough.
I guess I'm thinking
Sneaking them in.
I have to request the money to buy the tickets and the flyers.
I'll do that with a purchase order.
Well, I don't know if I had to ask them, because I had to ask permission for everything.
Yeah, that's what he just said, a purchase order. I'll ask for a purchase order.
But was that in that, well, you gave us a budget, where'd it go? Didn't you say how much it was gonna cost in there?
Yeah.
And didn't we already approve that?
Yes.
We approved it, but he still has the.
As for the funds.
Can't that come out of whatever's already in the police and commission fund?
It should come out.
Yeah, it should come out, yeah, it should come out of the police community initiative. I make a motion for for them to, I make a motion that they can buy the tickets and supplies they need for their fundraisers out of the Police Community Initiative Fund.
A second.
Motion by Steve, second by Lisa. Any more discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah.
Steve Dalton,
Yeah.
and Jackson.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Sam, second by Lisa, to adjourn.
Can we force that?
Fred vote.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Did anybody say nay?
This, nothing.
Can we have a longer?
Everybody